audiences, I think, are most familiar with you for Normal People. And then, of course, you were nominated for an Oscar for After Sun. But after this, now you are going to be Gladiator, Paul Mescal. Are you ready to step into this blockbuster leading man era?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I agree with that point. But as you said, on a very different scale, I think I've carefully built a career to this point. And I know that probably this will be the thing that most people will see.
You have something in you. Rage. Never let it go. It will carry you.
I hope that there's many, many other films that follow that define it. Like you look at an example like Russell, he had built a career before Gladiator. Gladiator is one of his best performances, but he's been brilliant in many, many things before and after, and hopefully I can do that.
You're bitten by this genre a little bit now.
I'm bitten by working with this man.
Okay.
I don't necessarily the genre, but yeah, absolutely.
I got that. Do you see Paul as an actor that can have longevity in this genre?
Yes, I mean, I think he's got all the...
Use this.
Sorry.
It's like I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah. I'll project.
He's got all the attributes, components. Sounds cold, this. But acting is really a science as well as an emotional experience, right? Mm-hmm. And the most powerful thing any good actor has, I think, is intuition, great intuition.
Yeah.
And he's very intuitive. So, and when you have that intuition, it's gold dust.
You hit the gym, you hit the weights, you ran, you did all of those things, all of them to prepare, I guess, as Denzel said it, to get beat up by the best, Is it true that you found, like, the training fun?
Yeah. I think because I grew up playing sports, so it wasn't like an alien language to me.
Sure.
I think, and not to kind of undermine the work that goes into it, but I think actors like making a meal out of how hard training is, and acting is so much harder than going to the gym. Because productions like Ridley, they give you the infrastructure to, you just have to follow the exact, as you said, it's a science to putting on muscle, and the only part that you have to play in it is actually showing up and doing it, which is difficult, but that's the first part of the work, and then you have to go and analyze the character and play the character that's out in front of you.
Ridley, I don't know if you know this, but Paul Mescal likes a short moment.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He likes a short. You know this, right? Did your love for the short moment make it easier to lean into the short skirt?
I think Ridley always wanted the shorts a little bit longer, and I wanted the shorts a little bit, or the skirt a little bit shorter. So I think we met in the middle.
Yeah.
I own you now. But whose head could I give you to satisfy your fury?
The general will do. Rome has taken everything from me. But I will have my vengeance.
So you had to be pin perfect with this one, like Russell Crowe in the first one. So what was it about Paul that made you say, this is my Lucius?
So what I do is I tend to look at all the indie movies, the incoming, the fresh talent. I tend to watch that, mainly because of the originality and how they have to make the most of what they haven't got money-wise, right? Mm-hmm. And in that, I see new talent, both directors and actors. And I came across Normal People, not my kind of show. I watched it for times. Oh, this is interesting. I then binged for 8 hours. At the end of it, I realized this geezer had all the DNA of the possible being the grandson of Marcus Aurelius, i.e. Richard Harris. Look at the...
Yeah.
Here it is.
There we go.
This is a bit of an overreaction, though.
The 8 hours told me everything he could do. And I knew he'd have to do different things and more on this, but right there's everything.
I know who you played in Normal People wasn't by design for Ridley Scott to see that, but when you hear him say, I saw him, he brought me in, I binged it for 8 hours, and I knew this was my guy.
Yeah. Like, it's madness.
Yeah.
I think, though, the more I know Ridley, the more I realize that his appetite for not just making films, but Ridley watches everything. Like, we were talking about a film that we're hopefully going to make at a certain point, and I was talking about references and things, and I spoke to him on a Monday, and then I rang him again on a Wednesday, and he'd already watched the 2 films that I said. So it's not by mistake that he has this encyclopedic knowledge of film. It's to put it simply, he just watches everything that comes across his desk.
So we're going to get more from you two. already.
Oh yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
I like this.
So do I.
I like this very,
You and
very
me
much.
both.
Is it true that the filmmakers initially kind of had to, I don't know, sheepishly ask you, do you play sports? Do you
Yeah.
do you do anything?
Yeah, I think, well, the conversation I had with Ridley, the kind of casting process revolved around like a 30-minute Zoom that we spent for 10 minutes talking about the film and then 20 minutes talking about dogs, sport,
Bad
everything,
knees,
bad
sport.
knees.
Right?
Yeah, so sport was I think is a very useful thing to have in my back pocket for a film like this.
Yeah, and you were like, why, yes, I do.
Yes,
play
I
rugby.
do. This is going
Yes.
to come in handy. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Ridley, you know, you got to do things in this movie that you weren't able to do 20 years ago.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
When you were making the first one. In what ways were you able to make this one more of a spectacle, I guess?
Wow, I think the first one's pretty spectacular.
It was.
And is a spectacle. You know, digital work was pretty sophisticated then. And so all it has done is evolved a little bit more towards the dangers of AI now. But it's not easy. You still got to design it and use your tool. Digital work is a tool. And you remember it's a tool. It enables me to make a rhino, 2-ton rhino, run around and chase him. Right? But that rhino, we built the rhino, the head, the body was built on an industrial trolley.
Wow.
So it could run the trolley, would make the rhino do this. And all I did is took the wheels and put it in the feet.
I could listen to him all day
You and
talk
me
about
both.
this.
Strength and honor. I don't fight for power. I fight to free roam from men like them.
Denzel says this is not a sequel.
I think there'll be a third one for sure.
Okay. So then it's a trilogy. And so
Well, there may be more, see.
there's going to be more. And you're on board to do more.
Whatever this man wants me to do, sign me up. Happily, happily.
It is vengeance and rage that drives Lucius in the film. In real life, what is it that drives Ridley and Paul?
Vengeance and rage.
Yeah, it's a very motivating feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I've
Vengeance
been
and rage.
criticized so many times. I've learned one thing: you can. The only critic can be you,
Yeah.
your own work. Whether you're a painter or a filmmaker, in the final analysis, I tend not to read critique. That's deep respect to you,
Okay.
kind of.
I think at the moment, ambition is driving me.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm being honest.
Good answer.
Yeah.
I love
Nothing
it.
wrong with
Straight
it.
answer.
Yeah.
That hustle,
Money
that
and
hustle
ambition.
is
How about that? That's right.
Yeah.